Hey, what's up? When you were a kid, you probably didn't have to worry about money that much. Hopefully your parents were providing food on your plate. Hopefully you had a roof over your head. Hopefully you had a means of getting to places where you needed to be. And hopefully you had some health care. Hopefully you had school to go to. Hopefully you had a few friends. And as a kid, I feel like that's a very rich life. That's all you really need. Maybe a couple hobbies. But essentially, you live financially free in the sense that you don't have to worry about money. Your responsibilities are limited. You are working because obviously you're studying, and whether you're going to a tutor or lessons or classes, you're working. But money itself is not a concern. And so I think as a kid, we live freer in a sense, in a way. And then there's a period after school where you essentially have to leave the nest and be able to form your own nest. And that period in between is what I've been thinking a lot about, because you go from this position where you're financially free and you have to work your way to try and get to financially free again, because ideally you'd like to be able to support yourself, maybe support a partner, and maybe support some children as well, or a child. And this period after school, I'd like to say maybe around 20 to 40, mid 40s even, maybe late 40s if you're really pushing it. But this period, it's such an interesting thing. It's such an interesting concept. And it's like as a kid, you don't get trained for this. And I do find that a lot of people, as they become adults, becoming an adult is its own process. No one class or one school is going to teach you the right thing for you. You just have to figure things out on your own. And that's why it's so difficult. There's no correct formula. And so as we find ourselves and try to get to this position, not everyone becomes financially free. Not everyone even gets close. But I do think getting from that position to that position is what most people strive for. How long it takes obviously depends on your skill, your upbringing, your connections, all these things. And I don't want to speak for everyone, there's a line that I heard that's kind of stuck in my head a little bit, is the world is very cruel to a poor man. And so finances, as much as, some people might say money doesn't make you happy, you do need money to live, pay expenses, all these things. And so establishing yourself, finding your way in the world, finding what you can provide as a service or a product to bring in income is a big deal. And 20 to mid 40s is a big range. That's like 25 years, plus minus a few years here and there potentially. So in this period, you kind of have to figure out your life, figure out your way of creating value. It's an interesting position to be. And I just want to reiterate that nobody trains you for it. You have to figure it out on your own. And so if you're not financially free, if you're working towards it, if you're struggling to get there, I think, again, I don't want to speak for everyone, but for myself, I completely understand it. I'm in a similar position where it's I think there are two ways to go about it, to be honest. One is you can make sure that you're right first, so you can kind of be able to support yourself first and then bring on a partner and then be able to support them and then potentially offspring as well. The other way to do it is that you support yourself some and you support a partner some as well. And then your partner does the same. It's they support themselves and then they support you a little bit as well. And so together you grow and you kind of leaning on each other and you get there, you can get to the same place. So I think there's the two ways to go about it. Neither one is right or wrong. It just depends on personal preference and what you're personally comfortable with and what best suits you. But yeah, if you're in that in-between period, as I am, it can take a very long time. It might not happen, but hopefully we're all smart enough to strive for it. It is a worthy venture and hopefully it happens for all the good people. Yeah, I don't know. It's just been an interesting thought that's been circulating in my head recently. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that was a little bit interesting. See you next time.